DNVR Broncos live, coming to you from Studio X, where the X stands for extra spicy.
Oh my God. We're 2 days in, and you're already just putting letters in front. Like, if a week in you want to say, like, extreme, like, that's cool.
That's what I did day one.
No, but I said, like, a week in. Then you can use that E.
There's no words that could be used in this context that start with X.
Xylophone.
Yep.
Just say, like, the X stands for xylophone. Allie, make a xylophone sound. No. Oh, yeah. Exactly. See, like, gotta be creative here. We can't be skipping to EX.
Okay, so you've got xylophone, Xavier, which is just a name.
And the school.
Maybe a city?
There's got to be a city named Xavier.
I assume.
I'll check.
I assume I'm pretty sure that's in Ohio, but I don't know if that's actually the city.
It's actually the capital city of the province of Glyphork.
Which is where? So you got anything for us?
I don't even know how to say half of these.
Any real words other than xylophone and a name?
So it's
No.
Glyphork. Seems to be in.
We're off to a
I
hot
think it's in Wegmont.
Xylophile.
Xylophile.
That sounds like something you don't want to be.
It does. I mean, when you Google it, there's a bunch of stuff, but I just have never heard of these.
Have you figured out where that is yet?
So Xavier is
had
in
a lot of
Glyphork, which is in Wegmont.
Which is what?
That's east of Thatcher.
X-ray. That's a good one from
X-ray.
Brandon
We
here
have
in
to
the
save,
comments.
We have to save that for later, hopefully.
Bobby Grad joined Glyphork until it succeeded into New Germany.
Brandon said extreme, which is what you
I already
said,
used,
yeah,
yep.
That one's.
Where the hell is Wegmont?
Okay, I'm thinking Germany.
It's independent from the United States.
Oh,
How would you pronounce Xenia?
Xenia.
Xenia, Ohio.
Okay, all right. Still not a word.
Wegmont is surrounded by western Chicago and is bordered by the United States.
Okay, so it's what? It's in Canada?
I'm not really sure. Wait a minute.
This
is not Wikipedia. This is.
I'm the reason they're delayed.
micronations.
Sorry, guys.
All right. Well, yeah, we weren't late. Let's just
Move on.
abort this.
Yeah.
Abort this talk. I know you're very intrigued, Henry, but maybe the commenters can tell us what's going on.
Yeah, I'm lost.
Today, we have to discuss the corner position, which I find to be kind of weird. I don't think we've talked enough about how concerning this position is beyond Pat Surtain.
You're concerned.
I'm very concerned.
Interesting. Okay. Why are you concerned?
Just listen to these names. Like Damari Mathis, Michael Ojemudia, Kwan Williams, Bless Austin, Isang Bassi, Ronald Darby. Like, none of those names inspire confidence. Maybe Kwan Williams, you're like saying like, okay, yeah, like he's solid.
Huh.
Ronald Darby can't. I mean, he's already got a Q next to his name on ESPN.
Yeah.
So
there is that.
That's where we're at with Ronald Darby.
The injuries, yeah.
Also, he just never intercepts the ball, which, like, whatever. If you don't allow catches, that's okay, but it is kind of weird. But more so, I'm just like, none of these people make me feel good.
Okay. Okay. I do think, between Damari Mathis and Kwan Williams, you're going to have somebody good in the slot. And I feel like between Darby and Ojemudia, you're going to have a good outside corner. And Darby should be the one. I mean, early last season, everybody was hyped about Ronald Darby. And at one point, people were hyped about Michael Ojemudia too. So I'm not too worried. The depth can be a little concerning, though.
That's kind of where I'm at here, because I'm like, okay, well, who are the starting corners? Well, if you're talking about two, it's Pat Surtain and Ron Darby. What if one of those guys goes down? Touch wood.
That is not wood. There we
Maybe
go.
that's wood. I think there's a wood layer above, like some like foam or something.
Okay.
But
We'll cut it open later.
I'll touch this just in
Okay,
case.
thank you. I appreciate that.
If one of those guys gets hurt,
all
of a sudden, you're in trouble. And Ronald Darby has a history of getting hurt. Now,
yes,
if Michael Ojemudia is the guy that was getting hyped up in OTAs, then okay, you're safe. But then who's your depth beyond that? What if you want to go nickel, dime? Like who all is coming out there? So I guess I'm just saying, like, we're used to this corner group being really good.
True.
And I don't think the group is that good anymore. Pat Surtain is a top 5 corner in the league already, in my opinion. Beyond that, it's just question mark after question mark, and that worries me.
That's fair. But, I mean...
Kwan Williams, you kind of know what you're getting there. But even he is like he's a kind of a specialty player in the sense that, like, you like to use him on blitzes and things like that. Like, I'm pretty sure we determined he has more strip sacks than any other player on the Broncos in his career, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But so, like, he's not Bryce Callahan by any stretch of the mind in terms of, like, he just goes out there and cuts down short routes. He is a solid slot corner who can be used as a weapon on defense. And I like that about him. But again, in a Russian cover league, in a pass heavy division, I am a little more concerned about the quality of rush and cover they have than I think other people are.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I get it. I hadn't really thought about that, though. I've always thought, like, the corners, just because there are so many of them, that you're going to be just fine. The other piece is that, so what? So you have Pat Surtain first. You have Darby and Ojemudia. If you wind up in a situation where one of those guys is unplayable, one of the other two gets hurt, and all of a sudden you need another outside corner, your options are to bump K'Wan Williams outside and bring in Caden Stearns, or Damari Mathis if he does carve out a role for himself. And I really like him. That was one of my favorite picks. But Damari Mathis also probably fits better in the slot, but maybe he goes outside. It's not, I guess, great. You are really thin there, but I do think that top level, like, there's 5 guys who I think you could see on the field and 5 guys who could be pretty good. Maybe I'm getting a little too excited about Damari Mathis, but Darby was good last year. Ojemudia was good last time we saw him. You're solid.
Okay. All right. I like that you are more confident about this than me because, like, Darby can cover. So as long as he's healthy, touch wood with my foot, then you'll be okay. I can't count on that. I don't know what Michael Ojemudia is right now because we haven't seen him in so long. Like, beyond that, on ESPN, for example, they've got Bless Austin next on the depth chart.
Yeah, but again, like, that's somebody with some starting experience. Like, and especially in this scheme, like, if you want somebody who can press and run, like, that's exactly what he's built for. So, again, you don't love it, but I think he was like a 72 in Madden. Not that we're getting into Madden ratings this early, but it's not like great. But in terms of, like, a guy we're not even talking about until this point.
Also should be noted, he's saying Bassey was, like, Vic Fangio's favorite player.
True.
Before he got hurt. He talked about him over and over and over again. So maybe he comes back and he can get back to being that guy that they liked. Remember, he was playing serious snaps week 1 against the Titans on, what was that, Monday Night Football? It was.
Yes, it was.
Then Faion Hicks, like, anything you get from him is a bonus.
Totally.
So it's not that it's, like, a bad group. It's just an everything has to go right group, in my opinion. Or things have to go right.
Yeah.
Maybe not everything.
Yeah. Again, like, if Ojemudia is your cornerback too, there is a bit of a question there. But I mean, he's 24 now.
I actually like if Ojemudia is the cornerback too, because that means he outplayed Ron Darby.
Well, I was thinking, like, if Darby,
sorry.
you lose him or something. But, like, if Darby's your cornerback too, then you're in great shape. Then you might have... You're probably still only second best corner duo in the AFC West behind the Chargers. I think J.C. Jackson. But, I mean, if Pat Surtain can cancel out J.C. Jackson, then you're right there.
For sure. Yeah. So I guess let's get into the quote-unquote battle side of this.
Yeah.
It's really between, in my opinion, Ronald Darby and Michael Ojemudia for cornerback 2. That's, like, the biggest competition. I assume K'Wan Williams will be your starting nickel. Obviously, Pat Surtain is your number 1. So let's handicap it. What do you think the odds would be on week 1 starter, cornerback 2?
Darby would be like minus 300.
Okay, I was gonna say minus 250. So
yeah,
we're right.
That's what I was torn
range.
between.
I think probably even minus 300, just because the only people who know who Michael Ojemudia is us, meaning like Broncos people.
Yeah, totally.
Like DraftKings isn't really thinking about him. Now again, if they were making the odds, they'd probably do a little more research. But I just think that like this kind of goes to like Madden ratings conversation, which is just like, yeah, like you can talk about how you're excited about Damari Mathis all day long, but Madden's not giving him anything better than a 63 rating or whatever he got.
Totally. Again, like the thing about Ojemudia is that he's a project, and it's tough because we haven't been able to see him recently. Like we saw him start 11 games when he was a 21-year-old rookie, and like there were good moments, there were some bad moments, there were definitely some bad moments, but like you just have to think 2 years later he should at least be a solid option.
I don't know. I talked about this yesterday with Zach, and it's the same thing, but like people will remember one bad play forever when it comes to like corner or tackle or any like these positions suck, man. Literally, if you tweeted anything about Michael Ojemudia right now, you'd get someone being like, dude, he got abused by Julio Jones. And it's like,
He's 21 playing Julio Jones. Yeah.
Just like yesterday when I had someone being like, if Pat Surtain is so good, why did he get mossed by Devontae Smith? And I'm like, because Devontae Smith is also really good at football.
Yeah.
They both went up for a ball, and Devontae Smith made a great play on it.
Yeah, that stuff is so dumb. But, I mean, that's just how those positions work. And we'll see. I mean, that's going to be one of the fun things to watch during camp when we're trying to figure out who the good receivers are. And, like, has Jerry Jeudy taken a step? I think there's a real chance that he goes up against Ronald Darby and just gets blanketed. Ojemudia, I mean, his build would be more of like Sutton's stopper. Like that's probably how he stands out if he's just breaking things up against Sutton. But we'll see.
It is so
you can see it work with either.
It's really difficult for the defense in training camp, in my opinion, especially when the quarterback is good. Like I just remember everyone talking about Cody Latimer just destroying Bradley Roby, and everyone was like, "Oh, Latimer's going to be the hit here, and Roby might be the miss." And it's like, okay, well, Roby was a part of the best secondary of all time. So I almost like try not to read too much into it, but it is going to determine the battles, you know, how they do. So it is kind of interesting. Maybe it's just a matchup thing for the Broncos when they go out there. Like, let's think about this. Week 1 against the Seahawks, going up against DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Like, how are you matching that up?
Maybe, well, I mean, you put whoever you're most scared of on Surtain would be your first thought. The kind of the old school, like the Patriots way is you double team the good receiver with your 2 and 3. But I don't think there's many receivers where you're going into a game saying we don't just want Pat Surtain on their 1.
So I'm probably going Darby on Lockett because he just has the straight line speed. Yeah. And then you put Surtain on DK. But if you go back and like that tweet I put out yesterday with that teach tape, it's all Pat Surtain against fast receivers. Terry McLaurin, Tyreek Hill, CD Lamb. I guess he's not quite as fast as other guys. But so I don't know. Maybe you put him on Lockett. But it's kind of an interesting thing to think about because Ojemudia, like you mentioned, if you wanted to put Surtain on Lockett, then you'd probably prefer to have OJ on DK Metcalf.
It's tough because
Ronald Darby, by the way, is tiny when you see him in person.
Yeah, I think, and that's why you probably do go Ojemudia because the big so like when you have DK Metcalf, like he's going to be able to outrun any of these corners. The margins could be slim with Darby and Surtain. I think Ojemudia probably gets beat by a little bit more, but it's not like Russell Wilson isn't the quarterback. So it's not like these balls are going to be hitting him in stride.
It's true. We're talking about Geno Smith throwing these passes.
And so if that one-step window comes open, it's not going to get hit. So even if like Surtain is too slow to cover him, like, oh, he's a step and a half behind. Well, guess what? He's going to have to adjust the ball, and Surtain's going to be right there.
And he's probably not.
He's going to slow to cover. He's not going to. Yeah,
like his technique is just so clean that he's going to be right there with him.
And that's why you probably just want the size instead of letting Darby get mossed by Metcalf.
Yeah.
So I'd go Surtain there.
I mean, and there's a lot more to it where like, okay, so, you're not as afraid of the route running of DK. So maybe you're just putting a safety over the top there, and you're not expecting Michael Ojemudia to run stride for stride with him down the sideline. You're expecting him to pass it off.
Contest things underneath. Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. I think in the end, you're going to see Darby, Surtain, and then, of course, Kwan Williams.
Yeah. Damari Mathis is going to be really good. But it's tough to see him getting that job out of camp. You do wonder if at some point, like you said, like Kwan Williams, all of his highlights, they're like run game or blitzing or things like that. So if you do play a team, even against the Chiefs, like you still probably want him out there just to do all those different things. But that's what's so nice about him in a game like that is that you can just go nickel because you're not worried about their running game. Like you just go nickel all the time, have him play against Kelsey. So I'm not actually sure what matchup it is where you say, Mathis, we just want the cover skills. But we'll see.
Yeah.
And he might not be ready.
What is it that makes you so excited about Damari Mathis?
He's just so quick and so fast. Like just freakishly fast. I wonder, what was the Madden rating on him? I think he might have had a big one.
Really?
I would imagine. Yeah. But I mean, that's the big thing is he just has all those tools. Again, just veteran player. You play him underneath. We've seen Chris Harris pop in situations like this, and like he has way more tools than Chris Harris does. So,
wow.
And he's a hybrid safety running back or safety cornerback. So playing him in that slot position should be money. Yeah, you would think.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what you want, right? Because you're playing that guy closer to the line of scrimmage, or closer to the ball. So you need him to be able to come down and make tackles and all that stuff, but you also need that quickness to defend those short in and out routes and stuff like that.
Madden has him at 93 speed, 93 acceleration.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like you start him from week one on your Madden team to try and develop him because you're like, oh, I'm going to be able to get him up to 95 speed at some point.
Yeah, they have him at 68 overall. I wonder what they say about the other Broncos cornerbacks. This has been a Madden heavy week.
We talked, and that's something we talked about before the week. Like, and for everyone, I mean everyone who's like, this is stupid. No one cares about Madden ratings. It's like it's just a way of framing a conversation.
Exactly. But yeah, so
I had so many people be like, who cares? It's a video game. I wanted to be like, first of all, I care because I'm going to be the idiot that buys the video game.
Totally.
But at the same time, it's like, it's not. It's just about framing these players correctly. And we're going to talk about it in just a second. But my God, did they miss on this team.
There were some bad ones. But yeah, so he's 68 overall. Bless Austin, 72. Ojemudia, 74. Kwan Williams, 77. Darby, 78. Surtain, 83. So that's where he's going to be as a rookie.
The fact that they think there's a minimal separation between Pat Surtain and Ron Darby is...
Well, no, the other thing is, what round was Damari Mathis drafted in? Is he
5th, I think.
5th? So he's a 68, they say, and Nick Benito's a 69?
Yeah, Nick Benito tweeted out, he was like, my Madden rating's ass.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
I wanted to send him a screenshot of... Because in our Madden league, he is in the league, and he's on the 49ers. Who, devs up players. And so I'm pretty sure he's like nasty in our league.
Gotta be.
Yeah. All right. Before we move on to talking a little bit more about this Madden stuff, want to give a shout out to our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook, where you can get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Up to $1,000 when you use the code DNVR when you sign up. And the way this works is you can make a bet up to $1,000. And if you win, you just win. If you lose, you're going to get your money back in the form of free bets, which is a pretty sick deal. So you'll have a chance to win it all back or maybe even more with your free bet. So get over to DraftKings Sportsbook, get in on all the action. Rockies back in action tonight. By the way, Hank, only 6.5 games out of a wild card spot.
Yeah, they're 44 of 50, and somebody's 50 and 44, and it's like, no. I think that's right.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, we're talking about the playoffs as a joke with this. There's 2 teams in between them right there. No. The
run starts tonight.
No. I checked last week, and you couldn't even bet on them to make the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I see
wonder
what
if it's
you were
there
thinking
now.
about.
I was just curious if they had odds out there. I was not. No,
Henry's,
it was because people kept tweeting
to hide it. He's trying to hide it, but he believes.
No, I do not believe. I don't.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm betting on them tonight. You'll be able to watch our bet show right after this ends.
That's true.
So check us out over there. And again, go over to DraftKings Sportsbook. Use that code DNVR to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-522-4700. And again, for that bonus, new customers only, minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details.
I pulled up FanGraphs. What do you think the Rockies' odds of making the playoffs are?
Well, I do know that they have the hardest strength of schedule left in the league, which doesn't help the cause.
Yep.
But I would say like iron sharpens iron,
That is true.
Playing all those tough teams might make them better.
Those resilient Rockies.
I'm having a big Rockies day. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of that sick poster. Oh, we are going to Coors Field tonight.
Coors.
Maybe that's why I'm getting those Rockies vibes. Coors Field.
No. No.
Yes. Maybe I'll do it TikTok tonight of just asking people how to say the stadium. The odds.
Yep.
So like
Percentage.
I'm gonna say 3%.
0.1. Oh wow. You're close.
If they just win like 6 straight games, that has to go up to like 30.
30%? No, that gets it up to like 9.
They're like 3 games out.
Assuming the other team goes 500 and assuming the 2 teams in between those teams don't do anything.
Yeah. All it takes is a little run. I wonder what their percentage was before Rocktober started.
That is very fair. Another Rocktober coming. Breckenridge Brewery. Are you going to be drinking any beers there tonight?
Several.
Yeah, it's a good call. Hopefully the Palisade Peach Light. That is a good one.
I'm sending this to Allie to bring up on the show. Go ahead.
Oh boy. Strawberry Sky is a summer beer. The seltzers, the lemonade seltzers. I actually haven't had one of those lemonade seltzers in a while. I think I've only had them here. Like when we had them all stocked up. I might need to go get my hands on some more of those.
There's also like all sorts of new things. They're just like constantly pumping out new things. Like there's the hard sodas.
Oh, that's right. I've heard of those.
They're actually delicious. Like they almost taste too much just like a regular soda.
Really? I've never had a hard soda before.
I've only had the ones that I had from Brack.
I need to pick some of those up.
And then also the Palisade Peach Light. I'm getting my hands on some of those this weekend. That's a guarantee.
I'm gonna see if I can go get some of those hard sodas. But yeah, Breckenridge Brewery, they're awesome. They do all sorts of cool stuff for us. They're really involved with the community around here, donating to people who were affected by the fire in Boulder. So get on breckbrew.com, use the beer locator, and see where you can pick up whatever you want to try.
Allie, can you bring up the graphic that I... Okay, all right, jeez.
Hold on.
Is there anything else we need to talk about? I lost my spot looking at that graphic.
Oh, okay. We can see. Let's see. So there's the hard seltzer.
We're really killing this. We need the person that we're about to show on screen. Oh, Green Mountain. No, that's in the next one. We're good. All right. All right. Here it is. Very important quote graphic. Hank, can you see it across over there? It says, quote unquote, hope is not good. Zach Stevens, also Star Wars.
That's right.
No,
Star Wars via Zach Stevens.
Oh, it's so good.
That is amazing. Shout out to
hope is not good.
Said that it looked like Zach died.
I mean,
it kind of does.
Not.
He is a little ghosty there, isn't he?
He's riding off into the sunset.
Yeah, the way he just kind of fades into the graphic. Yeah.
It kind of adds to it to me.
I do like it. Yeah. I hope that Zach is okay.
Yes. Zach,
where is Zach?
Zach he's not here. He is not missing. We know where he is.
Okay.
Actually, we don't. He just said, can I have Friday off? We said yes.
Want to guess? Up on top of a mountain?
I will.
Everyone will be off Monday.
Why?
Because of our meeting.
Because Broncos training camp starts next week, so your shows you will have a show Monday, but you'll have a show Tuesday to Saturday.
Yeah.
You should know that.
Listen, I don't think about days before that day happens.
I know. Everybody kept asking me, like, what are you doing this weekend? Like, my mom in the car, I was like calling her on the way back, and I was like, I've been thinking about today for like 3 weeks. My whole life has been, I need to be out of that apartment today.
Oh, yeah.
What even day is it? I don't know. What are you doing this weekend?
Could
you
be
tell
anything.
me.
I actually have a pretty solid weekend lined up.
Oh, yeah?
Honest. Tonight, Lumineers and Gregory Allen Isaacoff at Coors,
Okay.
which is pretty sick.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow, golfing in the morning. It's almost been 7 days since I golfed, far too long. And then in the evening, I'm going to, I guess it would be called a wedding party. It's not an actual wedding.
It is. They're signing their marriage certificates.
It's not an actual wedding.
Okay.
Because they're getting married in Italy. But it's a celebration of their eventual wedding, which will happen at a later date.
Why don't they flip those?
No, you're not saying it right.
Yes, I am.
No, they can't sign they can't have a marriage certificate in Italy. So they're having their ceremony with like a minister in Italy, but they won't. That's not their like official wedding. This weekend they're signing their marriage certificate.
Yeah, but they're not like giving their vows or doing
celebration.
a ceremony. So that's what's a wedding. A wedding is the part where you sit there and they give their vows and they put the rings on and all that shit.
Yes.
That's being eloped.
This is just a ceremony.
This
is a celebration.
It feels a little backwards, right? Usually you get married here and then you go somewhere else.
I know. I respect it though.
Okay, yeah, I respect it. It's a little.
It's
kind of the opposite of.
If it were up to me, just have a party and then just like go to the courthouse.
Why not? If you're already at the party, why not just
it's
make them bring the paper to you?
Just letting you know. It's a no for me.
That's why I said if it was up to me. I'm very aware of the fact that it is not up to me. But I'm not like against the other way. I'm just saying like the real part that anyone cares about is just like drinking and having fun with their friends.
Totally.
Then the
sweet stuff too.
Yeah, that's
you can get that in the movie.
But
you can do that on your own.
Go to the card section at Target.
All of that stuff.
No one's ever talked about a ceremony. Like no one ever was like, yeah, I went to a wedding. The ceremony was amazing.
You should have seen the ceremony.
I've heard people talk about that.
Okay, this is
we
clearly
talk with different people.
versus
Yeah,
they
talking about how like great and sweet or like the speech. You were what's the thing? What did you do for your sister?
Officiated.
You were the officiant, and people
true.
came
A lot
up
of
to you
people
and
talked about
told you how much they loved it and how you did such a great
but
job.
those
The
people were-
ceremony was great.
But those people were there.
Yeah.
They didn't. I assume
What?
they didn't go back and tell their friends like,
It's like, bro, you should
how was
have
your
seen
weekend?
this.
Oh, I went to this wedding. Officiant.
Hello,
was off the
hello, an
charts.
officiant.
No, they would have said the ceremony was great.
No, they would have just been like, it was beautiful. The party was awesome.
They would say like, yeah, open bar.
We'll see.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
I went to a wedding. Ceremony was there were actually bees all over. So it's like outside they have like this thing that you stand under, an altar.
Yep.
And they're like standing up there, flowers around the altar, and
They should have altered that.
they should have altered the hell out of that. There's just bees swarming around the flowers up there.
Oh no.
And nobody else saw them. I asked them afterward when everybody else was like, hey, congrats, all that stuff. I was like, did you see all the bees by your head? And they said no. And
Wow.
there were dozens
They were
of bees.
consumed by the power of love.
Almost the bees, too.
Almost consumed by bees. Yeah. The one thing that I'll say I remember is like were their vows good? Like if your vows exceed average, then I'm like, oh, that was good.
There's nothing worse than bad vows.
Yeah.
You just feel bad. You're just like,
People get so nervous about those. Don't say
it's
that.
essentially public
That's
speaking,
mean.
and everyone talks about how they hate public speaking.
Yeah.
My vows are going to be so killer.
A lot of people just read their vows during their first look, or they read it after the fact in a private way because they get so nervous.
That's fine.
Your vows are your vows. Don't let these two
That
judge
actually
you.
kind of goes to my point about saying like,
yeah.
no one there, everyone there just wants to drink.
Yeah.
So like if you do your
That's
vows
true.
somewhere else, no one's gonna complain.
If you're good at weddings, you're probably drunk by the time they're doing those vows.
A lot of times they won't let you.
Really?
They're afraid of like someone getting unruly during the ceremony, so they won't even serve
Which
you a
we
drink.
have seen happen.
No, that was after.
But they got so drunk at the beginning before the ceremony.
But they didn't make a scene during it.
No, right
Just
after.
You got to go get drinks before the wedding.
Ooh, pregame.
Oh, yeah. That is the move. Absolutely.
Cool. Okay, that's enough wedding talk for today.
Well,
I'm sure
forever.
there'll be more on the way. Let's talk about these Madden ratings. And the one that came out today, I'm actually not as mad about it as I thought I could have been. if you just showed me the number and didn't show me anything else, I would be outraged. As Russell Wilson comes in at an 87, which was lower than any of us predicted.
Yeah.
Even when we predicted low, I was like, they're going to give him the 88
Yep.
that they did last year. Originally, I was like, they're going to give him a 92. And then I was like, no, now that I see that they think the Broncos suck ass, we're going to move it all the way back to an 88. And they went under me, which is crazy.
I mean, it's part of the trend. So what? It was like 3 years ago they said like, okay, you guys are all going to be shocked by these numbers, but this is intentional. It was when they put out the X Factors too and all that stuff. They're like, we want our best players to be
better than everyone else.
Exactly, to make that gap bigger. And so when they did that, they said like, yeah, everybody's kind of getting bumped down. And so like your average starter isn't like a 79, 80 anymore. He's like a 72, 73, you know? And so it does seem like they've kind of kept going and spreading those even more.
Yeah. So again, the number, that pisses me off. Then I look at what their ratings are, and it's only egregious on one account. So Tom Brady's the highest at a 97, which the back-to-back MVP should probably be higher than him.
It's just so hard to argue with Tom Brady being number one.
I just know that, like, if Nikola Jokic was 1 point under Joel Embiid, I would be like, how could you? Okay, not
That's
Embiid.
the thing.
Okay,
like Kobe, LeBron, but LeBron's
Shaq.
even washed. Wow.
I'm just thinking of like the best. I don't know.
But that'd be in the world where like Shaq is falling off, also
Okay, so it is
has
like
been
LeBron.
winning Super
It's
Bowls.
LeBron. It's Jokic being 1 point behind LeBron. I would be like, this is BS. We're talking about the back-to-back MVP here. So Aaron Rodgers right behind at 96. Patrick Mahomes at 95. I don't really have a problem with much of this other than I would have flipped Brady and Rodgers. Josh Allen 3 points behind Pat Mahomes feels a bit much to me. I would have put him at 94 right behind him.
I could go 93.
He's gonna be the best player in the game, like when you actually play it.
Lamar.
No,
It's gotta be Lamar. 96 speed.
what is he now?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's the same.
But
Josh Allen's like 90 speed or something with a 99 throw power.
89.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean that's Lamar. He just breaks that game.
Well, if he broke the game, you would have like won something by now.
I beat the undefeated Cowboys a couple days ago.
And then you lost to the
How much
Giants?
I beat you by?
You beat me by a lot.
52-28?
What's our record since you've had Lamar?
Haven't been counting.
Yeah, I'm sure you haven't. Anyways, Joe Burrow right behind that. How do you feel about that? Fifth.
I would feel a lot better as like an 89, 88. I can't argue too much with the order, you know? Like he just went to the Super Bowl.
So this is where I think Russ should slot in. And I'd be I honestly probably wouldn't complain if Russ and Joe Burrow were tied at 90. I think I would say that's about right. That seems fair. Obviously, they want to make Joe Burrow good because Joe Burrow is like a culture. He's like becoming like a cultural icon. Like that, like especially in young people, they fucking love, excuse my language, Joe Burrow.
Do they?
And so like you want Joe Burrow to be good, so kids want to buy the game.
I didn't know people. I thought they liked like Lamar.
No,
Or
well,
like-
I mean they love Lamar, and a lot of young kids like Patrick Mahomes too. But
Okay.
like Joe Burrow is like
I could get behind a Joe
love
Burrow. Which kids are you talking to?
all of them.
Just Kale?
I don't consider Kale a kid.
Okay. He's the one like Joe Burrow stan though that I know.
Like I bet you, I don't know. They're kind of haters, but I was gonna say I bet you if Allie texted her brothers right now and were like, "What do you think of Joe Burrow?" They would be like, "Oh, he's sick."
Really?
I think so.
Huh.
Or they'd be like, "That guy's lame AF," just because they're Eagles fans.
That is true. They do say things like that.
Okay, so Russ being an 87, I'll say this: if he is, should he be X Factor? Is he too low to get an X Factor?
So to me, like that's not even based on rating. That's like
Abilities.
exactly like you're Russell Wilson. You do those things.
Yeah.
You know, like so I'm not too worried. Like I think even though Joe Burrow's in front of him, I guess Justin Herbert's probably a better example. Or like Dak. Dak's in front of him. I don't think Dak gets that, but I think Russell Wilson probably does.
Okay, if he gets, as long as he has like escape artist and something else, I'm saying like, okay, this is fine.
Okay.
Because he's clearly one of the best quarterbacks in the league at escaping the pocket.
Yeah.
Just for fun, rookie quarterbacks, are you surprised that Desmond Ridder is the highest rated?
I mean, that was kind of the argument going in, like between him or Pickett being more pro ready. I think on the draft podcast, we all decided it was probably Pickett with Ridder right behind him. So that's a little bit backwards, but I can't be too upset.
Pickett is 4th. It goes Ridder 70, Malik Willis 69, Matt Corral 68, and I guess he's tied. Kenny Pickett 68.
Really?
They did him dirty. They did Steelers fans dirty is what they did here.
But like, I mean, we all watched them play, and we all like said like this is what they are, and nobody thought that it was just gonna be Joe Burrow first round draft pick and everybody else falls off. You know, like there was debate about who really the best ones were, and so you can't let what happened in the draft, I feel like, just decide that.
I just feel like you put Kenny Pickett at a 70. Just he's by far the highest drafted quarterback.
But I don't think. But you don't look at that. You watch the games and you put in like.
They're not watching the games.
Yes, they are. Like that's the only way you can do it.
I don't believe that.
Okay.
I think they're just rolling the dice.
Oh boy.
And then did the teams rankings come out today, or did people just like figure it out?
Yeah, they dropped them.
They dropped the team ratings.
Yep.
Okay, and everything that we've been trying to tell everyone all week came true, which is they are going to make the Broncos very bad, and that's what they did.
They did do that. I think they're tied for 12th,
which doesn't feel that bad until you look at the ratings in the rest of the division. The Broncos are 78.
Yep.
Overall.
No, they're 84.
I thought it was 84 offense.
84 offense, 78 defense, 84 overall.
How does that work?
I don't know. Timmy's MaddenRatings.com was wrong.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you tell me then. Walk me through it.
So they're 84. Raiders are 83. That's the bottom. I can pull up the team ratings here.
Okay. This isn't as bad as I teased it to be.
Yeah. No, tied for 12th. I mean, I think that's fair.
I think it's fair too. 84 overall seems fair. How are they getting that? They only have like one player over 84 overall.
It's not based on. I don't know how they do it.
What is it based on?
Well, I don't. It's not like an
players.
average of the players.
Yeah.
Like you got to scale it. You know.
But I will say, like in Madden, when I trade for like, if I trade like a bunch of draft picks for like a 95 overall player, my rating instantly shoots up.
Yeah.
So it does feel like it's an average of the players.
Well, it's not an average of them though.
Okay, so
it's like you
right because
what
the
do you
bottom
have?
of the
What do you
roster
have?
isn't going to
Exactly.
So, but I just don't understand how they could be that high when literally Justin Simmons and Russell Wilson are the only two players on the entire roster over 84.
Yeah, but I mean that's how every team works.
It's weird.
It's like because it's not.
I guess it moves.
It's
to
like
a
it's like
scale
on a
against the
curve.
other
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah, sort of. It's like on a curve. There's like a formula that doesn't like. It's like how good is the team? It's like an 84 team.
You can't be a good team without good players.
They have good players.
Not according to Madden.
Well, they just have a bunch of players bunched in that same gap. Like it's not like the Chiefs where you have like a few up here, but then a lot like down below. Like they've got all those guys that are like low 80s. And so all those, which honestly set up for like this season is kind of what you want. Like Javonte is going to finish the season as an 88. One of those receivers is going to finish the season as an 88. Like a bunch of that group is going to come up, but like that's just where that team is built. It's like a lot of good players who haven't proven themselves.
Where are the Chargers and Chiefs rank?
I'm trying to find it. Ratings news. Oh, there it is. So Chiefs Chargers are the highest rated team. They're an 87. That's tied for 5th. Chiefs are tied for 7th with an 86.
So I mean they disagree with me that it's the greatest division in the history of sports, but they're saying it's kind of close. It's bunched up, which at least I agree with because when I saw Broncos, what I saw was Broncos are 78 overall,
Yeah.
Raiders are an 83, Chargers are an 86, Chiefs are an 88 or something like that, and I was like, oh my god, this is a joke, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, totally. You want to guess who the top teams are? Who's number one?
The number one team. The Rams?
Tied for third.
Okay. The Bucks.
Yep, 92.
Okay. That seems egregious.
Second best team
But I guess you have like Mike Evans and Tom Brady.
and a pretty nasty defense.
Antoine Winfield. Yeah.
Yeah.
Second best team after the Bucks is the Bills.
Yep, 89. Then you got the Rams. You know who they're tied with third?
The Rams are tied in third with. It's gotta. I don't know who.
Packers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So 3 out of the 5 top teams, or 4 out of the 5 top teams are NFC teams?
Yeah.
Wow. That's kind of surprising.
Yeah.
I
in a
would
way.
make
I
the
mean,
case that the AFC is better.
definitely.
But I guess it's not about.
The AFC has depth.
Yeah.
From there on, like, I bet the NFC doesn't really have anybody.
Yep. All right. Before we move on, I want to give a shout out to Green Mountain Dental Group, best damn family-owned dentist group in the metro area. Head on down there. Just 15 minutes outside of Denver, over there in Lakewood. It's actually a beautiful drive getting up to Green Mountain Dental Group. So go over there, check them out. They're big Colorado sports fans. They've supported us as long as just about anyone, and we really appreciate that. So anytime you're thinking, hey, I need some work done, go over and check out Green Mountain Dental Group.
And also, head on over and watch the American Raptors.
Let's go.
Tickets are free. It's a great way to spend an afternoon or an evening or whatever time of day they're playing that day. Like I said, free tickets. You just go over to AmericanRaptors.com. You can also watch live streams of the games there. And if you happen to be an athlete who was really good at your sport but not great, and so you didn't make it pro, or maybe you did for a minute,
hang pro,
or
yeah.
didn't hang pro, yeah. Then maybe you want to join this rugby team, because that's what they do. They take athletes like that and try to get them onto the U.S. rugby team, trains at the same facilities out in Glendale. So head on over to AmericanRaptors.com, get your free ticket, and make sure you're following along with Colton Strickler at DNVR Rugby.
All right, Hank, you're going to have to go on to the DNVR.com and pull up the comments, because they will not load for me.
Okay.
Allie, do we have any super chats or notable comments to touch on?
Nope.
Okay. What a diss to the
Wow.
comment section.
Someone said,
Harsh.
Cody here asked, how do you guys feel the wide receiver ratings could change by the end of the year?
Oh, I finally got him to load.
Oh,
Okay.
mine won't load.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It took me 4 refreshes. How could they change by the end of the year? Well, I think there's a very good chance that 2 players end up in the 90s. And I think it would be Cortland and Jerry. But I have a feeling someone's going off, and I also have a feeling they're going to have to jack up Russ to like a 95 at some point.
Wow.
Yep.
Those are all some hot takes.
Yep.
For perspective, like, remember, Mahomes was the 3rd best quarterback at 95.
I just think that Russ is going to be in the MVP conversation.
Okay. If you think that, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't think any of the receivers get to a 90, but I do think, like I said, like one probably gets to an 88, you probably get another like an 87 if things go well.
Yeah, I mean, that's more realistic. I just think I think all of this goes together, right? So Russ is playing at an MVP level, and both Court and Jerry are on pace for like 1,200 yard seasons.
Yeah.
Then they're going for it. By the way,
You need like 1,500, I feel like 1,400 to get up
to get to 90.
To get to 90.
How many players are putting up 1,400 yard seasons?
Like 4 or 5. I guess they do have these receivers rated pretty high. They've
Yeah.
got 10 in the 90s.
That's what I was saying.
11,
Like,
12. Yeah, you could get one in there.
so I think like 1,200 gets you up to the 90s.
Yeah, it could.
I bet you that if you were to chart this, and I think there actually is a website that does chart this, where you start and where you finish, the Broncos will have the most players who went up, or the most total points gained throughout the season.
Okay. I mean, they'll be in the conversation. Like, they have enough upside. They have all the young guys where it's like, Pat Surtain, what is he? Probably like an 87, 88. Instead, what is he? He's like an 83 or 84 or whatever.
You think that in reality he's an 87 or 88?
That's probably what we saw.
I think this year what you'll see is 90.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is
At
there's so
least.
many guys like him where it's like, yeah, you were good, but it's like Jamar Chase too, where it's like
Yeah.
an 85 and he's probably like a
He's
91,
87, I think.
92. Okay, yeah. But that's another one of those where it's just like those will rise.
What I said to Zach yesterday is, If Jamar Chase is an 87, you cannot make any case to me that Pat Surtain shouldn't also be an 87, especially because he clamped them in a head-to-head matchup.
That's fair. That's fair. 9 corners in the 90s.
Yeah. And he was
He's
at
top
7
10,
in
yeah.
the Fowler poll.
We'll take it. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the question here from Big Hank Stan. Oh, sorry.
Colton asked, how is the vanilla porter from Breckenridge? I can get it like W miles from my house, and I want walking miles from my house, and I want to know if it's worth it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's a little heavier.
I was
it's
going to
porter.
say, I have a hard time with dark beers in the summer. A lot of people, like I was at Spring Valley last weekend playing golf. These guys ordered a round of Guinness after their golf round. I was like, hey, whatever does it for you. So it's not. I love vanilla porter just when it gets colder.
Did I tell you about subbing on my girlfriend's kickball team, and I ordered that Ukrainian
told me
beer?
about this several different times, but not this specific story.
No, yeah. Afterward, go get beers. Got this Ukrainian beer because it was like the third thing on menu, and there's like 40 of them. It's like, I'm not. It's a beer. Just give me one. I don't care which
like
one.
Light or like wheat or something, and you were like, yeah, count me in. Or ale.
I just saw Ukrainian.
Oh, you were like,
and it turns out it was crazy heavy and dark and all that stuff. And so I have that, and it's like, this is not what I need.
You were one and done.
Yeah.
Tough.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
but
really
vanilla
like
porter.
Vanilla Porter Jr.
Yes.
It's delicious. It's just I'm just being honest. I'm not drinking it right now.
No. But if there was one right there, I would.
Maybe.
Okay.
Jose says, if PS2 is that good, can't you just roll coverage to the other side,
Yes.
a la Champ Bailey?
100%. That's
sure.
kind of what we talked about a little bit.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I'm 100% fine leaving Pat alone on almost any receiver in the NFL.
Yep. And it's so nice when you have Simmons there too. It's like that means he's back there deep, and all of a sudden there's such a small portion of the field that's left with those two.
Yep.
Big Pen asked, who is wide receiver 1?
Court for now.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
I was reading this Bill Barnwell thing. I've actually been reading a lot of Bill Barnwell things. I'm going through a phase.
He writes good things.
This is a different one. He made the case for Brett Rippon to win MVP.
No way.
He picked it was like 8 guys or 13 guys or something like that. And he was just like, who could win MVP in a way that like whoever did in this year? And he compared him to like Kurt Warner in 1999. It's like he's like out of nowhere won that job. And he's like, well, really, Rippon might have a better chance of getting that. I can't remember who they had at the time, but yeah. So he's like going through and he's like, it won't happen, but like that you can see the path. Because that's one thing. The other thing, did I already forget?
Lowest Madden rating to ever win MVP.
Yeah, 58.
Did you see that Luka Doncic, his first year, came into NBA 2K as a 58?
Really? 58?
I mean,
for Luka?
It could have been like just a joke that I saw on Twitter, but that's
Maybe.
what the tweet that I saw was.
He was, yeah. That would be unbelievable. That would be unbelievable.
Okay. One more comment or question, and then we got a comment from Zach Stevens.
Never heard of him.
Arkham says,
me
think they make a trade for a corner around the trade deadline, especially if Darby gets hurt.
I could see it for sure, but they don't really have any assets that are good enough to get a good one. Like,
yeah,
I'm thinking picks because
exactly
player for player
it's
trades
rare.
are so rare in the NFL.
But I mean, you move Malik Reed, get the pick, flip the pick, or something like that. Flip the pick. I remember the other Bill Barnwell
Three-team
thing.
trade? That seems even more rare in the NFL.
He was writing about the Broncos receivers, and one of the points he made, which is kind of one of the things I've been trying to say, but he said it way better. Tim Patrick has had very like average production at a really high volume. And so that's why the numbers are like that. And that's why it's so hard to see his numbers getting up to that like 1,200, 1,100 yard mark.
What are we talking about when we say high volume? How many targets are we talking about here?
Basically like he's just been on the field every single play. And like now you have a little bit better quarterbacks, so more likely those turn to into receptions, but you also have all these other guys on the roster and all that stuff, and the odds that he's going to play as many snaps as he has.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have a hard time agreeing with that. I think he gets more opportunities that are in better positions, and he produces more.
I can't figure out. Oh, I did save that link this morning, actually.
All right, what did Zach say?
Zach said, LMAO, if I die and get this quality of graphic from y'all, ...
That is true. We would get a much better graphic for Zach.
But it would still say hope is bad. Hope is not good. Zach Stevens, also Star Wars.
Also Star Wars.
We'll talk to your family about putting that on your headstone. Okay, last thing here from Big Hank Stan, who says, my folks, Z-Man, RK, and Big Sauce Chisholm. Yeah, I don't know why this happened, but we were saying yesterday that DJ Jones' nickname should be Sauce, either Sauce Jones or DJ Sauce, because he makes barbecue sauce.
Oh, does he?
Yes.
Oh, have we tried it yet? Have we ordered
haven't,
some?
But we're working on literally putting it like on stuff at the bar. On the
okay,
menu.
We need a taste test too, though.
We do.
A blind taste test.
A blind sauce, the DJ Sauce taste test.
3 barbecue sauces.
We choose.
We'll say which one's best.
Oh, don't even put Casey Masterpiece in mine. Like, that's liquid garbage.
Oh, interesting. I've never heard of that.
That's like the most mainstream.
I only know Sweet Baby Ray's. I think that might be the only one I could name.
Sweet Baby Ray's is actually pretty good for being like, just you get
it's
it at
everywhere.
the grocery store.
Yeah, that's why you just don't even think about it. It's like, oh yeah.
So I think I've told you about how like we have 60 hot sauces at my house. My dad.
Yep.
He also has at least 20 barbecue sauces on hand at all times. And my favorite is called Rat's Wood Shack. It's really good.
That seems like a weird. Well,
that's
don't you
the name
want
of
it to be appetizing?
We've talked about this, but they're rebranding. They actually are rebranding.
I believe it.
And they're opening up a restaurant right down there. You know where the Outback Steakhouse is when you're driving to Boulder? On the right-hand side, right when you're passing Louisville. It's like the first thing. If you were to take the Louisville exit, it's right there on the right.
Okay.
That building is now going to be a barbecue spot.
Wow. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll have to go get some.
We'll have to go get some. Their spicy barbecue.
Have to bring DJ's sauce with us, though.
Well, no. But we'll have DJ's sauce there. Anyways, somehow that turned into you being called Sauce Chisholm.
That's fine.
Okay, cool.
We can go with that one. That's for sure.
It's pizza bet time. If there are any takers, I can only afford one bet, however, so don't all jump on this bone. I declare that Melvin Gordon will have more yards for scrimmage than Williams. In order for the bet to become active, each player must play in at least 12 games, which gives each bettor some injury insurance. If either player misses more time than 5 games, the bet is null. What do you say, boys? Also, what is y'all's least favorite movie/show that someone you adore loves? Love, Hank Stan.
I hate Friends. I hate it so much. I've only seen like 3 episodes, but it has that like laugh track and all that.
Laugh tracks are tough.
I can't do that.
But some people have called Zach the laugh track.
But it's a real laugh.
Yes.
Like he's involved. Like if they were saying something funny and everybody else in the room on the show like also laughed, they'd be like, oh yeah, because it was funny. When it's just like outside laughter, like where is this coming from?
It's true.
Oh, but the other part, I will definitely take that bet.
Okay,
I'll take Javante.
I know Zach would have taken it too, but you were here to jump on it. What's my least favorite movie or show that someone I adore loves? I don't think there's anything, Al. Like, you love New Girl. I'm not the biggest on it, but I don't dislike it.
Yeah. When I was watching that weird reality TV show. Selling Sunsets.
Oh, that was I couldn't do that one.
But the houses in LA were so cool.
terrible.
You did like that part.
No, I didn't like that you kept because like I decided I'm zoning out.
Oh.
Like as soon as I saw this show was on, I'm like I'm not paying attention. But Allie kept being like, "Oh my God, look!" And I'm like, "Hold on." And she's like, "Oh, you missed it. I have to rewind." I'm like, "No, please don't." Just
The houses were really
Just
really cool. The
let it go.
drama is
Yeah.
insane. But really, the only shows I watch are like Friends, New Girl, Parks and Rec, The Office, Modern Family.
Do like The
Classics.
Office. That's a good one.
there was another weird one when we first started dating that you watched.
Pretty Little Liars.
That was rough.
You got into that one though. You were asking me so many questions.
I asked one
really?
question and you talked for 3 hours.
Really? I kind of want to go with Allie here.
No,
Big Pretty Little Liars fan, right?
Allie and I were driving to Steamboat, and I was like, okay, so because we had watched like one of the shows the night before. I'm like, okay, can you explain to me like why this happened?
There's like a murder in a high school,
And
right?
Allie told
It's like
me
a weird. They
the
took it too
entire
far.
plot with like 12 seasons or whatever it is.
Oh boy.
You were curious. We watched a few episodes of that. We didn't watch the finale though.
What's the one that's based like is that Big Little Lies?
Big Little Lies. Yeah, that's another.
Is that the
popular
same
one.
thing?
No.
It's not part of the same like
Pretty
saga.
Little Liars was like probably like I watched that in high school, but like it continued for a long time.
Which came first?
Pretty Little Liars.
Big Little Lies definitely stole the
Yes.
the hype there.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
But I think those are the only, and I haven't watched Selling Sunset.
I'm trying to think like other people I adore. I'm not necessarily sure what movies and shows Nikola Jokic watches or.
I would hate
are.
anything in Serbian though.
That is true.
I would have no idea what's happening.
Do you ever do like a show in a different language with the subtitles on?
No. Actually, once.
I watched a really good movie with subtitles.
Parasite.
Oh, okay, I don't know what that is. But
That's
sounds
it. Won
scary.
like all the awards. It's this Korean show where from like 2 years ago.
Right,
It's
I remember that.
I would watch it again.
So I watched this movie called The Wave, which is in German, and it's essentially like it's pretty intense, but I like the concept, which is like this teacher is teaching his kids about Nazi Germany, and they're
Okay.
like, this isn't believable. Like, why did everyone fall for this? And then he runs an experiment, like he like gets them to join essentially
no.
like his like cult, but not really. He just like is like, see how easily you guys like fell for this and
Yeah.
started playing along. It's
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Okay.
We
Big
have
twist.
Okay.
We
I
have
like
Jose
twists.
in the comments saying, "My ex-girlfriend loved Gossip Girl. Man, I really don't miss her or that show."
Wow.
I loved Gossip Girl.
Which
that
one's
was a great
Gossip
show.
Girl?
I never watched
was a
it.
high school
Never
one,
probably
though.
even saw one episode.
What about 90210
Never.
with your sister?
Oh, my sister watched. What's the one with Pizza Face? Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
I wasn't like old enough to appreciate it yet, so I really hated when she watched that.
Huh. Interesting. Guys, Google Gossip Girl. It's like there's all those actors
there's
you know
a new Gossip Girl.
where you're just like, who are you? And like Blake Lively pops up, and you're just like, I know who you are. I couldn't name a single thing you're in. It's like, oh, is this why people care about you?
She's awesome. I like her. Ryan, for you, I think the one thing that I don't enjoy is your obsession with Planet Earth, which I know is a hot take.
That's a good show.
God, dude. Her anti-Planet Earth agenda.
I'm not
doesn't like
anti-
that?
I don't. I just don't like. That's not something that it's like. Oh yeah, let's put that on TV for me.
I'll say like,
But if I get home and you're watching it, I'm like, fine. whatever.
no, you're not.
Wow.
You're mostly like, I'm gonna go in the other room, or like
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch TikTok.
Have
But
you
it's
seen
not
the
like
new
I
one on
stop you from
HBO?
watching it.
Honestly, it might be Allie's most questionable quality. Like, you know how people say like, oh, I never trust a person that doesn't like dogs, but I always
Yeah.
trust dogs when they don't like a person. Like, it's maybe like I might not be able to trust
Yeah.
a person who doesn't like Planet Earth, but
Totally.
I've been able to get past it.
It
She
makes
doesn't
me
like
sad.
animals.
No, I
like if
love
she hates animals, like we can't.
She
It
can't
makes
handle
me sad
the,
when they kill each
the
other.
circle of life
and that
scenes.
stuff. I don't like
That's
when they're
how-
vicious and like when the elephant is running and the lions attack it. I'm like, no, the elephant, but also like lions need to live. It's
Yeah.
a weird. I don't like it.
If you
That's
just
the
say-
hard
those are
part.
good things. That's
If you
I
just-
know
the
it's part of the
works.
circle of life, but it makes
Huh.
me sad. So why would I
Afterwards,
choose something to make me sad?
If you just say
That's
that-
like half the movies out there.
if you just say that boy gotta eat, it makes you feel better.
or
that
the
boy
bug
got
ones.
eat.
I don't like the bug ones.
But
I
there's the
love
new
learning
one,
about
the
monkeys
HBO
and
one
all those.
with Michael B. Jordan that came out on the 4th of July, where they just go through. It's all America. Some wild
Interesting.
stuff.
What's it called?
America the Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah,
solid,
I think it
solid.
might all just be in national parks.
I'll be honest. I don't know
There's
if I
bears
can
and
do
stuff.
this without David Attenborough.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
He just did the dinosaur one on Apple TV.
Jeez, that man.
He's
is
everywhere.
raking.
I wonder how much money he has. But yeah, it's they just like recreate all the dinosaurs. Like the first one, it's like T-Rexes swimming out to an island. It's like they did that, and they're like,
Maybe.
yeah, maybe. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is sick.
I do like. I don't appreciate when we act like things are for sure happened.
Yeah.
I would just prefer if they were like, "There's a decent chance."
There's some
this
that you know, and
happened."
there's some that you do not. And it's
Yeah.
like, did they swim? It's like, well, their bones were hollow, so they would have been very capable swimmers. They would float nice and easy.
And I'm like, well, you just think that because you found some bones, or like,
Yeah.
you're deducting this off of a fossil.
Yeah. But
And
it's
I
like if you find the fossil where you know that it was an island, It's like, did he just run the island or did they swim to the island?
Or did they drown and get washed up onto the island?
Wow, it's deep.
See?
Yeah, we
We're
need
just-
more dinosaur
we're
movies, though.
Little too much absolutes when we're talking about dinosaurs for me.
Okay.
Like, I believe they were here.
That'd be a problem if you didn't think they
I'm
were
not
here.
denying. I'm
No.
not denying their existence. I'm denying. We act like we know a lot about them.
Yeah. It does seem like
Every picture you've ever seen of a dinosaur is a 100% guess.
remember like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, I think when everybody was just like, yeah, we think they have feathers now. And for like 2 years, everybody's like, yeah, dinosaurs had feathers. And then
Yes.
just all of a sudden it's like, nah.
But the only reason we didn't accept that is because, like, no, we already like made all these drawings and stuff
Yes.
of them
Yes.
kind of looking like reptiles.
I know. And if you're somebody who's going to study dinosaurs, like, it's not just like somebody calls some random guy up and is like, hey, you want to... No, like that. You probably like dinosaurs for a minute. Like, you've seen all the pictures. Like, those are in your head.
Yeah. It's really hard to reframe it.
It is.
Like, imagine T-Rex. Now he has feathers.
It changes the whole dynamic.
Yeah. It makes him way less scary.
I don't know how long feathers last, but it's not 68 million years.
We
But-
can't.
yeah.
Yeah. We wouldn't know.
We need more dinosaur movies, though. Those can be good. They're just so rare. Right now, it's just Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, and they suck now.
That's true. I want more dinosaur questioning. Like, I'm just going to need a little more evidence.
there aren't many dinosaurs around to question.
And I don't mean questioning dinosaurs' existence again. I mean questioning the shapes, the sizes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have Jose in the comments here saying there's a place in Montana where they show you that dinosaurs used to swim and that crossing was a hunting ground. There's actually Dino Ridge here in Colorado, just down I-70, I think.
No, it's off of 93.
On 93. I went there on a geology field trip for CU.
So did I.
And you see it's really awesome. And then Brandon here says, but if they find their bones on islands, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
What makes sense?
Museum of the Rockies. That's what that place is called.
Also, Fossil Trace Golf Course. A couple fossils there.
Yeah. And you
And
never
then-
want to go look.
No, because you're playing golf.
Ugh,
Brandon
it's a
said-
terrible place for that.
Brandon said, I'd take a part 2 of this podcast each week where it's just the nonsense talk like this compiled.
That's
all
kind of what the
together.
last like 20 minutes have been. I was
Yeah.
like, I was waiting for someone in the comments to complain, like, are you guys going to talk about Broncos?
I
was
knew
like,
nobody
we
did
already-
it.
We already finished that part. Like,
Yeah.
it's our weekend now.
It
We
is.
can talk about whatever we want.
Wow. Yeah. Remember Wednesday when we were talking about Bleach for like 20 minutes before the podcast?
That's true.
That should have been podcast.
Speaking of, someone in our elevator today looked down at my shoes and just goes, how are they so white? And I was like, they're brand new. He was like, oh, that makes sense. It's like, that wasn't your first thought.
Yeah.
All right.
They only last so long.
I think we can wrap here. If you want to see me and Henry BSing a little more, you can tune into DNVR Bets Daily, which will be
10 minutes?
sometime soon. I don't know. Yaya's busy. We're going to have to figure it out.
Oh,
All right.
yeah,
we
here.
will talk to you guys then. Otherwise, we'll catch you next Monday. Next Tuesday, as Ali so smartly pointed out. Next Tuesday, we'll be back, and that will be the media barbecue, meaning the official start of training camp. So
Yep.
we'll come back with all sorts of quotes and good things to talk about. Look for that at 3 p.m. on Tuesday. Otherwise, we'll catch you then.